Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk to you about family and entrepreneurship. It's good timing because my parents have just been over for 2 weeks. It's been amazing to see them, and they always ask how things are going and what I'm up to, and it made me think about what it's like being an entrepreneur, or specifically an agency owner. And how you explain it to your family and some of the challenges that you might face just being an entrepreneur as well. I'm also meeting my parents-in-law. We're going away to Greece on Sunday for a week, so I have a different dynamic with them, but they're also very interested in what we do, and they're concerned if they think things are going well or badly, or they're really happy if things are going well, but they really just kind of don't understand. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experiences and some of the challenges I've come up with and how I've dealt with them, I guess. So the first thing is understanding what we do, right? So we're a lead gen agency. We sell leads to businesses on a pay per lead basis. A lot of you that have seen my stuff know that. Even that is hard to explain to someone, to my parents who are, grew up in the 1960s, before the internet, before Facebook and all that type of stuff. And my dad still asks me how many hits I had today. I'm like, well, what's a hit, Dad? He still doesn't quite get it, so it's pretty funny. So you need to bear this in mind when they're thinking about you and your efforts to support your family and pay the mortgage and all that type of stuff. They don't understand it at all. So if you put yourself in their shoes, they must be quite, worried when they don't understand. And that's the first point that I've realized over time, is that they don't understand. So give them a break at times if they can be driving you up the wall. The other thing is attitude to risk, right? 1960s, my parents were kind of late 1960s. They were starting in the workforce, and that was a great time to be alive. But they had a very different life model at that point in time. So the traditional, go to university, which was quite rare back then, I think. But get a job and work your way up, and then retire on a decent pension was what most people were doing in those times. So my parents, for me, their big dream for me was, I think, to go to university. I think I was the first wardrobe to hit university, so that was a big achievement. And when I graduated, it was great, but it turned out that wasn't university, and what I trained to do was not really for me. So I think it must have scared them when I was trying to do all this stuff online. And it's funny how things have turned out, but the attitude to risk and the way that I gave up that degree in chemical engineering and gave up a high-paying job, which was, a big risk, I suppose. I guess that is the reason why it's hard for them to understand, and why they get worried at times. Which brings me on to the opportunity we have, right? So even though, giving up a high-paying job and giving up that university degree and the journey that I was heading down was seen as a big risk, it's more than balanced by the opportunity we have in this day and age when we're running agencies and advertising. And there's never been a better time for someone to start a business and be able to leverage the targeting that someone like Facebook has. It means that our generation, for the first time, has been able to compete with the big boys. Companies 20 years ago never could do this. They would have to have huge advertising budgets to go on television, for example, or radio, or these things were very expensive. So the small businesses that were advertising in the yellow pages, for example, would never have this opportunity. So it's the risk that they think we're taking is balanced by the opportunity we have today, because there's never been a better time. The other thing is, because of these three things that I've just spoken about, trying to impress family and friends is something that I probably tried to do a little bit too much when I first started, because they didn't understand what we were doing. So when I explained to them that we landed a big client, or we'd had a big order, or we're generating the leads really cheap and making a huge margin, I'd tell them about it and it would just be like blank. They didn't quite, they were obviously happy for us, but they still didn't understand what the hell we were doing. So there's no point trying to impress. Remember that you've got to do this for you. Okay, you're the only one that really matters in this scenario. And the last thing is that I've got here, don't underestimate your skills and value you bring to the world, okay? I'm not sure how much this has to do with family and entrepreneurship, but I see some of the strides that, to go back 10 years, when I first started online, I was joining places like the Warrior Forum. I'm not sure if you guys remember that, but it is this place where you can produce crappy little products and sell them for $19. And I remember some of the names that I saw in there back when I was doing this, and what they've gone on to do, seem like silly little info products and selling stuff online, and the skills that these people have developed is just incredible, because they've gone on, Russell Brunson, for example, who created ClickFunnels, which is a 10, I don't know, maybe 11, I don't know how many figure business, but it's in the multi-millions. He started selling potato guns on ClickBank, I think. And these guys, and the skills that we've honed and over the years is just incredible, because I was talking about the opportunity we have, and the big businesses that are caught up with these television budgets doing stuff that's largely inefficient has been caught up and is now being overtaken by skills that people, the underground warriors, as we used to call them, that have learnt how to sell and learn how to write copy and create amazing funnels and get the most out of every single dollar that they're spending online. So, it's a bit of a long-winded ramble today, but what I would say is that we're all in a good place here. If you're running a lead gen agency, you're doing AdWords, you're doing Facebook, you're running ads, the opportunity is vast, and your family should be proud of you. So I hope you enjoyed today's content. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.